Hey guys, how are you? This is Lane's first live.
Yeah, this is amazing. Really excited.
It's his debut.
She warned me about it today. Just told me to stay off Facebook, so this is kind of a surprise, but I'm pretty excited.
I didn't want to tell him what we were talking about tonight because I really wanted it to be real. It not to be rehearsed. I didn't want him like planning his answers ahead of time. I wanted like raw answers. And so once we have some people on, hey guys, we will get started, but we're going to wait for some more people to pop on. But one, we are not going to be, hey, Lane's debut on live. We're excited. So we're not going to be talking about our business. Well, we are, but we're not talking about products. We're not talking about, it's generic. This is going to be useful for your life. Like if you have a passion or a hobby or your business, anything like that. If you have someone in your life that is maybe not supportive of what you're doing or anything like that, I'm going to get the man to explain some things. So it's mostly about the fact that I hear like so many common objections about either joining a business, working the business. Hi, Tracy.
What's up, sis?
Or once you get into the business, there's just concerns, okay? So these are the objections that I hear a lot, and I'm going to get Lane to explain it because I swear to you, yeah, and about that too. I swear he has never said any of these things to me. So it's very difficult for me to relate to some of these issues. And I'm not just saying that to like brag or anything like that. These are the common objections I hear, but I want to hear you guys' questions, and we're going to uncover some issues, and Lane's going to explain it, and I think it's going to like help me better understand and help other people on my team understand these things. Hi!
What's up, Kay?
So, okay, let's first talk about how husbands, we use them as a cop-out all the time.
Great excuse.
They are like the perfect excuse for things. So maybe you have like something that you're going to, or maybe you don't want to go to something. We tend to like use our husbands like, well, my husband said no, or my husband's working. Yeah. Like, I know we have all done it. They're just like easy prey to
totally easy.
Blame things on, aren't they? Just...
Use me, baby. Use me.
I mean, I think that we all do that, and it's really natural. But I want to know sometimes, like, are they really our scapegoat, or is it something deeper? So, we're going to get started.
Let's do it.
Okay, where do we want to start? So, okay. Let's talk about, we're going to start at the beginning. Hi!
That's a good place to start.
Should we start at the beginning?
Let's start in the beginning, honey.
I know, isn't he so cute? Kate says hi.
Hey, Kate.
Okay, we're going to start at the beginning, and I'm going to try not to get super distracted by comments, but if you do have questions, or your husband has like an objection or concern about your business or anything, whether it's to start the business, let's lay down the objections. To start the business, the startup cost, like investing too much time but not seeing a return. I hear he won't let me. He doesn't support me. I'm always on my phone. Like, I don't hear these, but these are common things I hear coaching people in my business. And he wants to spend time with me. Like, this is taking away from time together. Okay? So I have all of these objections, and because I can't relate like really, really well to them, my husband and partner in life and in my business is going to help me.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we're going to start from the beginning. So when I first started my business, I think Caitlin's on right here. Let's talk about how insane our life was.
Yeah, at the time.
When we started.
Yeah, Lisa was, let's see. So we started April of 13. So we had our two young children. We had three children at the time.
Yeah, we did have two.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you were nursing full time.
Hmm.
And so her days were very busy, and I'm a pilot in the Coast Guard, and it required several nights, for me a month, to be away from our house as well. So we had to balance like both work schedules. She was working nights because she was also nursing our youngest child at the time. So she would work a night shift and then sleep during the day, and I would stay home with the kids or with the youngest anyway, until it was time for me to go in for work, and then she would wake up and be with our children. So we did that.
It was like a year, maybe 6.
Yeah, so
almost a year.
It was super busy. It was like a balancing act, like it was continuous.
Yeah, so needless to say, so I left the country, I got married, we had 2 kids, we were like in our own world, and I feel like I didn't really know that much about these type of businesses. So I didn't have one single friend that was doing like a network marketing company. Yeah. I honestly, like, when I had that coffee date with Caitlin and Martla, like 3 years ago, I didn't like have any preconceived notions. So I think that sometimes that comes into play with like my mindset is maybe now fast forward 3 or 4 years, and this is like a really common thing for women to be doing at home. And so I think that maybe there's like people have had more experience with this type of business and
a little more exposure.
Maybe they don't have like the best perception. I'm not really sure. So when I got started, I just want you to know that like I had zero idea what I was doing. I didn't even really know that I was doing like a network marketing company. And I did find out pretty quickly like what some people thought about it. So I come home that day and I say to Lane, like, I want to start this business. It's going to cost this much. We didn't have the money at the time. Like, we really didn't.
No,
like,
we definitely did not.
I remember being like, I want to spend $1,000 to start my business. What were you thinking when I came home that day? Like, so excited, like, rewind. What were you thinking?
Yeah. Well, for me, my first concern was like, what am I getting for this money? You know, whether it's like $100 startup, in our case, it was $1,000. What am I getting? So once Lisa kind of explained and we looked at it, I felt at ease with it because for us in our company, there's like a 60-day, no questions, money back guarantee. So that made me feel pretty good about things. Also, there was no like startup fee. It was just essentially getting product at a 50% discount. So for me, like the money back guarantee definitely made me feel good about things because we've all done things in life that you sign up for. You're like either a second later or the morning after or a week later. You're like, oh my gosh.
You have buyer's remorse.
Why did I do that? Why did I buy that car? Why did I sign up for the candy club? Like whatever it is. Just
kidding. The candy club.
Just joking.
So judgmental.
No, just kidding. But we've all done things before that we definitely question. So having that 60-day money-back guarantee was good for me, and also knowing like what we were getting. As a guy, I'm very concerned about the numbers, and you know, in our case, we were basically getting $2,000 worth of product for $1,000. And worst case scenario, if you went 61 days and decided it wasn't for you, we could sell that product back for $2,000. Make money on the deal, wash your hands of the situation, and be done.
So that wasn't in my mind, though.
Yeah. So for me as a guy, there was no startup fee. There was no, hey, $500 startup fee that if you decided to quit or something like that, or if you decided to quit, you were just out that money. For me, it was like you had physical product on hand that you could then sell or use. So for me...
That I did use for like a week before I signed up. And it was good.
Yeah. So for me...
And it was like less than like... Remember that one day we went shopping for like product and I spent I was like in Canada, or I was like obsessed with this product in Canada, and I loved it. And for like the first 2 years of our marriage, and like when I was living in the US, like my family had to ship me all this product. It was so annoying. And so I remember like going to the store one day to like buy something.
Yeah, I remember that day.
Remember that day?
Yeah.
So we go to like Dillard's, and I'm going to buy some like high-end department store, like expensive product. And then Elaine was like, well, why don't we go check out such and such a store? Like, I don't even remember what it was, but like a Marshall's or something, like where you can get high-end stuff for less. Yeah. Like, do you remember the name of the store?
I can't remember the name of the store, but yeah.
So we go to that store, and it was still like $350. And I was like, he's like making these faces like.
I was in shock. I had no idea my exposure to.
Like, I was making my own money, and I would go buy my stuff, and like,
yeah.
I don't ask my husband to like.
Yeah.
So I think that the fact that we were together probably on a weekend or something, or. Yeah. Anyways, needless to say, that product stayed in my drawer, like in the packaging, and I literally ended up returning it because his face was like, his expressions were buried in my mind of like the disapproval. You know what I'm talking about, girls? Okay, someone asked. We're with Rodan and Fields, but this is like for any company that you're with. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's basically saying, what you're saying is, if you want to join a business, your husband is going to want to know that, like, the details about the numbers and stuff like that. So did you care at all about my excitement?
Yeah, definitely. Like, you showed excitement, and so that was important.
But what was like the most important thing? Because I remember, like, we couldn't afford it. So yeah. I hear that a lot. Like, I can't afford it.
She basically she was excited. She said, I really want to do this. So the fact that she was excited about it, she really wanted to do it. For me, I knew it was important to her. So obviously as a spouse, and you want to be a good spouse, like I wanted to be supportive.
Aaron, so true.
But then, of course, I wanted to know what the heck I was getting for, in this case, $1,000. And for me, it was, I'm getting $2,000 worth of product for a 50% discount that I could later sell back if you decided to not want to do it.
So he really cared about the numbers. So I guess if you are presenting something to your spouse and they are not approving or do some digging, get some information about what is possible. What are you spending? Can you return it? What are you getting for that? And how quickly can you make it back? Because I remember, having to put it on Lane's credit card and saying, I promise that I'm going to make this back in
you said
a couple months.
Yeah.
So $1,000, I'm thinking, I promise I'm going to try and make this back. Okay. So that's the first thing that I hear a lot.
That's good.
Was the cost. Okay.
There was like a game plan. You told me I'm going to make this back a reasonable time frame within 2 months, and everything after that is just gravy. It's just icing on the cake.
Okay.
So it was good. That gave me an idea of what to expect.
So then once I get started, so I hear this a lot, okay? You start your business and you're working, and people, I don't know if they think that it's like an easy road or they're going to get rich quick or maybe they have some rejection. I remember starting my business and really not having any support. That was kind of my news flash of whoa, people think this about this type of business.
Yeah.
And I was like, I am so confused. Why are people deleting me off Facebook? Why are people why am I getting rolly eyes and I was so confused.
It's kind of like if you tell someone oh, hey, I'm a nurse, and the reaction is, oh, that's so great, that's so awesome, that's so nice. You tell someone that you're in a direct sales type company, it's ooh.
Yeah, so I was really confused because, I guess I was kind of in my own bubble and I hadn't seen a lot of stuff. So this was just kind of getting started. and becoming more popular. But so I start my business, and at the beginning, like for the first year or something, I wasn't really working a lot of hours. Would you say like?
No, it's definitely very part-time, just kind of squeezing it in here and there.
Yeah. And like by that Christmas, we moved to a new state like 3 months after I started. Yes, it's seriously Lisa. So I start my business. I'm really excited about it. I'm doing pretty good. And then we moved to like a new state like 4 months later.
Yep.
So I hear the objection, like they don't want to start a business because they like don't think that they know people, or they don't have a network, or any of those types of things. So I moved to Alabama. I know no one.
Yeah, we didn't know anybody.
It was like my time to just like, I kind of had a clean slate and just went for it. So that would be like June, July, August, or July, August, September, October, November, December. So like 6 months. Mm-hmm. In 6 months, I didn't have a job. I had 2 kids. I was pregnant with Max, and I was working maybe 5 to 8 hours a week. Okay, so come Christmas time, I'm like making pretty good money.
Yeah, definitely we're making
good money. Sure. I'm learning about the business, and I come to Lane, and I'm like, I need to spend more time in this business, okay? More time away from you, more time away from the kids. I like have to somehow invest some time because you are working all day, I'm home all day. Like, how is this going to work?
Yeah.
So people come to me all the time and say, like, I don't have time, or my husband is mad that I'm taking time away from him. What do I tell people, and what were you thinking?
Well, I think the biggest thing for me is she, much like they talk about communication and stuff, we talked about it. She said, hey, in order for me to take this where I want it to go and to take it to the next level, like I need to invest more time, and this is what I need from you. I need you to basically go do your job, stay focused on your job, but once you come home, I really need you to take over. And I need you to do as much as you can with the kids, cook the meals, do whatever it takes to just alleviate that pressure from her, so then she could work. It's not like I'm alleviating the pressure so she can go watch TV. She's, I'm watching the kids and doing as much as I can so she could then go work her business. So the fact that she came to me and told me, this is what I need, like this is what I need from you, I then kind of understood and kind of got it in the right mindset that that's what I needed to do, as soon as I get home, or as soon as I got home at the time.
Yeah, so let's lay it out for people. Kind of like the next following year, I have Max, and I'm preparing for the Canadian launch, and I'm working, and I come to you and say, like, at this point, I'm realizing the potential of this business and what it can mean for our life, and I'm excited about it, and I'm working hard, and so he kind of like, I say, I need some help. I don't remember exactly having a specific conversation, but I'm assuming from his answer that he saw that I was passionate about it, I was excited about it, and I believed in myself, and I needed time. And where else was I going to get time unless it was him relieving me of duties? So I'm going to just lay it out for you a little bit.
Can I say something else too?
Oh, yeah.
Not to interrupt. Another thing that was important for me is I had attended also, not only did I see what she was starting to do like financially with the little time that she was investing, so I could see that impact like financially. Also, I was able to attend certain events, like company events, and I also attended a convention that we had. There was one in Atlanta a couple years ago, and that was a real eye-opener to me. Like that, it's kind of like showed like this is not. It can be a hobby if you treat it like a hobby, but if you treat it like a full-time job, like this was like a game changer. This was a life changer. This was, we have all been there, and most of us are there. It's just like, when is that next paycheck? Like, let's pay the bills. Like, and then you get done paying the bills, and it's like, man, what do I have left over? Like, we've all been there, and for us, it was like just going there and seeing what others had done and where they were at. And what it took to get there, it was really an eye-opener to me and really got me to buy in. So not only was it important for me to hear what she wanted, I knew the potential of the business and what it could do for us. And
he's talking about when we first got to Mobile, we went to like a local business.
Yeah, it was like a local business
opportunity. So we lived in Mobile and we drove to like Pensacola Beach.
Yeah, it was like
so it was like pretty early on, like when we moved there, we went to a business opportunity. So if you have something like that in your local area, I remember taking my husband there and, you know, there was a male speaker and then a couple females, but I think at that business meeting, he made a big decision. Like, yeah. I think big decisions are made at events. So if you have someone that's not super supportive in your life, see if you can get them to the one of those things too. And I think he's saying that if you have a conversation with them, tell them how much it means to you and maybe what you need them to do. Because I think, like, just sometimes as couples, we're not, like, the best communicators. And they're certainly not, like, mind readers, like men.
We try, but not very successful.
So, I think there's, like, a couple questions before we go to the next thing. Does your hubby have a brother?
Dude, I have two awesome brothers. Wyatt and Bryce, what's up?
They're married.
They are.
I remember running to Target, and you were in the cart working your business while you did the grocery shopping. No doubt you were all in. Okay. So that's totally true. So I guess if you're having a lack of support, up your enthusiasm, okay? And what does that maybe mean? It means maybe finding an accountability partner, finding like some success stories or people that are like making this business work, okay? Show him tangible things that he can see and understand. Whether find somebody, like I just was so obsessed with my mentor, Elizabeth, and her husband, Taylor, and I just soaked up everything they had to say. And then I would relay this to my husband. I'm sure I just talked his ear up all night, and maybe he was really sensing my enthusiasm. So if you're having trouble, try that avenue too.
Yeah,
Did I talk your ear off? Did I just like... It's so hard for me to relate to everything because, I mean, I'm not going to lie. Like, is he the perfect husband for this business and for me to be able to work? Yes. Hands down, for sure. Was he as beautifully refined as he is now at the very beginning? No.
I would say not.
Totally not. Okay? Like, when we got married, it was like he was a bachelor forever and... Did you ever have, like, a girlfriend for longer than, like...
I tried, but no one would stick around. So.
And so it was, like, you know, he would get up in the morning and, like, I could tell what he was wearing to bed, and he had a shower, and there's, like, a trail, and what he had for breakfast, and, like, I was like, they're messy.
Like a tornado.
You know, and so... And then even as I, like, gave him more to do, like, I'm going to work, here are the kids... It was like, I'm listening while I'm working, thinking like, I hope they're alive. I hope there's not a fire in the kitchen. But like, he got better and better and better. And now it's, you know, he does equal of what I do and maybe sometimes more.
Yeah.
You know, he relieved like the grocery shopping. He would come home from work and, you know, I would be like, high five, I'm exhausted from all these kids. I'm going to work. He would like make a meal, come out and get me. If I was like focused on work, he would bring me a plate of food. Like, and it just really evolved into him being...
It definitely doesn't start out like that. But I think as time goes, like your husband or your wife, depending on who's, you know, working this type of business, we'll get better at it and get more confident, and the kids will start relying upon, you know, the husband, you know, the dad, and we'll look for the dad for things. So it's like a confidence build, and you enjoy it. Like I love my kids. Can they drive me to the brink of insanity sometimes? Yes. However, love them, love being with them, love spending time with them. But again, I think the beginning was like just saying it was important. This is important to me, and I need this from you. I need more time.
Okay. So I think if you need more time to work your business, or they're, kind of hounding you for, you're always on your phone, you're not spending time with me and things like that, like, I don't exactly know what I did, but he didn't ever say that to me. And so it's very hard for me. He didn't ever say to me, honey, you're not spending time with me. You're always on your phone. You're always working. Come out here and cook me a meal. Like, that didn't happen.
Yeah, let's hit those up. So for me, for instance, like she works a lot of her business from her phone, whether it's...
Tyler loves you.
Tyler, you're my boy. That's what I'm talking about.
They are boys.
She works a lot of her business from the phone, which is super convenient. Like, we all have our phones with us 24/7, whether it's in the grocery store, whether it's, no matter what you're at. You're at a stoplight. You're, of course, never when you're driving. You wouldn't want to do that. But you always have your phone with you. So she does work her business from her phone. Now, could it be annoying sometimes? Sure it can. Do I say anything? No. However, and this is why. Before she started this business, she was working as a full-time nurse. So they were 12-hour shifts, 3 times a week. There was an hour on the front side that she'd have to leave for travel time, to get there in time, to get her brief, to take over for the 12 hours, and then debrief the next shift, and then drive home. So she was gone for 14 hours, at least 3 times a week, sometimes more. So is it sometimes annoying that she's on her phone and I ask her something and she doesn't even hear me? But yeah, it can be. However, I'm thinking she is working her business, she is making me money, and oh, by the way, she's not gone for 14 hours. She might be gone for 5 minutes in her own little world, working her business on her phone, but then in 5 minutes, she's out of that world and back into our world. So she can come in and out of it as conveniently as she wants. And I tell you what, when she was gone as a nurse for 14 hours, like, it was all me, on me, and there was no room for error. Whereas now, it's like, yeah, she can pop in and out and do her thing, and whether she decides to work her business for 3 straight hours, or 5 straight hours, or 8 straight hours, because she's done that, or 5 minutes, or hey, I just got to take this phone call real quick. So for me, it's all about perspective. Do I want her out of the house 3 to 4 times a week for 14 hours, or do I want to allow her and have some patience to be on her phone or be in the office working her business? So for me, it's all about perspective.
So I guess, like, figure out what you want to accomplish and what that income will mean for you. So I think that, like, what about the fact that I started this business because logically, financially, it didn't make sense for me to work as a nurse in Alabama.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about the people who are working full-time as a dentist or a nurse still, like I was at the beginning of this business? So they are gone all day, and then they're coming home and building something on the side, and they're getting grief from their spouse, and it's a battle. So what were you thinking when I was working full time and then trying to build this business?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that's probably the more challenging time, and that's usually like the most critical time. That's the first year that you probably start a business like this. Is you can't necessarily just quit your job. Like, she started and was working this for several months as a full-time nurse. For me, it was always just knowing, like, the potential, like what it could do for us. Like, for me, for instance, in my job, I love my job, but like I'm only going to make a certain amount of money, and that's always going to require me to be cognizant of the bills and be cognizant of the paycheck. And it's a great living. Like, I love what I do, but like the potential, and even as a nurse, like, she really enjoyed being a nurse, and but financially, like, it pays the bills and it's a great job to have. However, it's not going to allow you to be completely financially stress-free. So for me, just knowing the possibility and knowing the type of life that you can gain by spending time, and again, it doesn't happen overnight, and it certainly doesn't happen without working. So for me, it was just knowing the potential of what it could do for us. and the amount of like financial stress that could just be alleviated, you know.
Okay, let's answer this question.
Okay.
So Elizabeth wants to know, this is my dilemma. I work full-time in the as a medical admin, but I have 6 kids at home. Okay. So Elizabeth, you have me as your sponsor and upline, and I think that you have to, like I mentioned before, find someone who has done this successfully. What did it take? What did they do? Find out everything and anything that you can about how they made that happen.
Yeah.
How you have to increase your belief so trying to make time after hours is rough. It is.
No.
But listen, do you want to be financially free for the rest of your life? Do you want to be able to make more than your spouse? Like 2 years into this business, I matched my husband's income. And it took him 14 years in the service. 14, 15?
Yeah.
14 and
14
4 years,
4 years in
at
college.
West Point in college. Okay? So your battle is, how badly do you want this to work? I think that there was a lot of things that I unconsciously told Lane that I didn't need to say. I'm going to make this work. I want this. I will do this. I know what this can do for my family. Watch me do this. And I think that we have to be proactive. Do you want to live the rest of your life like worrying about bills? Or do you want to like worry or be stressed for a couple years, working really, really hard and sacrifice a couple things to live the rest of your life the way that you want? So here's the thing. I had so many people say to me, you're always working. You're always on your phone. I don't want to do that. You're missing out time with your husband. You're missing out time with your kids at night. Like a million things that people said to me that they didn't want to do. And it's not that I wasn't aware of that. I'm perfectly aware that my husband is getting groceries, cooking dinner, putting the kids to bed. And for a little bit of that 18 months that I worked super hard, they wanted him more than me. They did. He was doing so much. I mean, I was home in the day with them, you know, working around naps and things like that. But, you know, he did a lot at night. And I worked from 5 p.m. till 3 in the morning for how long?
Yeah, it was a long time. And it was those kind of hours. And at the time, like, we had an office like within our bedroom, so she would be working, you know, with the lights on until 3 a.m. So I got pretty good about sleeping with lights on. But again, it's just all about...
It's all about, like, the perspective, the end goal.
Yeah, it was like a means to an end. It's like, sure, we could decide not to do this and not to sacrifice. Mm-hmm. And she could be with the kids 24/7. But yeah, you know, for us, it was all about what can we do, you know, with our kids 5 years from now? What can we do with our kids 10 years from now? What can we do with our grandkids, you know, 15 years from now? So, that's really what was, you know, it's really just like a means to an end. It is tough, but you know, there's a lot of good things that come out of it. It's like, sure, like she missed out on some, not missed out, but like she wasn't doing as much with the kids, but that gave me an opportunity to spend a lot more time with the kids and to grow my relationship with the kids instead of having, you know, the mother be super, super tight with the kids and the dad come in for like 15 minutes and be a hero and tickle the kids or play with them. Like I was picked up, you know, a super amount of the motherly type role, and that was great for my relationship with the kids. So it's not.
So
like
I think that when you go, I think that you have to, if you want this, that you have to be able to communicate that and express that excitement, and then you have to go and do. Okay, so you have to go and do so that he can relieve some of that time. Okay? She made you a better pilot.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. And Rafi did.
Oh, this is Rafi.
A lot of mentorship.
So, okay, so that's the objection. I hear my husband is sad that I'm not spending a lot of time with him. I'm on my phone. I'm ignoring him. He wants to spend time with me. I think that let me give you a perspective on that. I maybe didn't get a lot of time with Lane over the last 18 months. Like, I haven't watched TV in like 2 years or something crazy. Like, I don't have a clue what's going on Netflix and like what's a good series and what's not.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're barely keeping up with football or anything. We're just like, but it's now, today, 18 months later, I'm looking at my husband and saying, I'm making this money. Like, when are you quitting your job?
Yeah.
Like, every day, I'm like, how much time do you have left? Like, you could quit your job today and we could hang out every day. How much do you want that? I don't know if I want to hang out with my husband all day, every day. I kind of like him. I do like hanging out with him. And I do seriously ask him that, like, at least a couple times a week. Like, did you get an email about early retirement? When can you leave your job? Like, and we're seriously having those conversations. Tell them.
So, it's, and again, it's all about like the potential, and it's having your spouse see that potential. It's, again, like from the start of college to right now, I'm at year 19, and what she's done in 3 years, she has surpassed my paycheck in 3 years, what I've taken 19 years to build. So I think for your spouse to just understand the potential and then go do the work, of course. But your spouse is going to see like the monthly growth in the paycheck and then the yearly growth. And it's important to kind of show like, hey, remember my first month I made X amount of dollars. Well, in month 12 I made this, or month 24 I made this. And to just really kind of show, and knowing your husbands, like they're probably numbers guys like me, and they're already noticing. So
what about this? This leads me to my next question or objection that people say to me all the time. Okay, so you're working your business and you invested X amount of dollars and you're spending this amount of dollars per month, and they come to me and they say, I'm spending more than I'm making right now, and my husband doesn't think, like, I don't think this is for me. I can't keep losing money doing this. They haven't seen the return yet or the power of this business yet and what it can be. So what do you, like, explain my first year and my outflow and my inflow and what were you thinking?
It's tough. Every person's in kind of a different situation. I would say if I was to do it over, like we reinvested, a good percentage of what she made back into her business. Just having the understanding is, especially if you're with a company that has a good product, we work for a company that has an excellent product. So if someone tries that product, they're going to like it and they're going to reorder. So hopefully you're working for a company that has a good product. So for us, it was important to reinvest as much as we could, whether that's on, little samples or gifts or things to get people to try it, because we know if they did try it, that they would like it and then they would order or reorder. So my biggest regret years into it is not reinvesting more, because the business would be that much bigger right now if we had done that. So, but everyone's in a different circumstance. You might only be able to reinvest a small portion of your paycheck because you need that money. And we've all been there and we all are there. So there's some months that we can reinvest, more, and there's others that life happens and you got to pay for childcare, you got to pay for a house, you got to pay for, whatever it is.
I think it's important to figure out what you have to do to use your own product and run your business for free. Okay? So I remember doing the math and thinking, okay, what do I have to do to at least do that? And so if you cannot complain and say that you are spending more than you're making, if you haven't figured that out, or if you are not willing to do what it takes to do it for free. Okay? So I knew that I had to spend this X amount of dollars to run my business, or spend this much to run my business. Yep. And I needed to do X amount to promote it. And you got to figure that out, and you have to at least devote that. You can't complain, and your husband can't complain if you haven't put in the time or the work that it takes. And I think it's important to highlight that as an entrepreneur, which is what we are now, you start a business, and if it's a traditional business model, you are going to spend thousands and thousands of dollars, okay, up front. So for example, if I'm going to open a shoe store, okay, and let's say I have to have a bunch of shoes for everybody to come in and try on, like a brick and mortar type of business, it's going to be like $15,000 or more. I'm just like making stuff up. I have no idea. But you're going to have a lot of more upfront costs, okay? And you're going to have overhead like your rent and your electricity and this and this and that. My overhead cost to run my business every single month is $100. That's it. I spend $100 every month to run my business, okay? Now, I needed to figure out, what did I need to do to earn $100 a month or more, okay? So if your husband comes to you and says, like, all we're doing is spending, and that is all you're doing, then that is a problem. But you need to figure out and reevaluate, how much time are you investing? Are you actually working? Are you doing personal development? Are you talking to people? So you have to give it an honest effort. You can claim a loss on your taxes for 3 years in a traditional type business, like a brick and mortar, right?
Yep.
Until the IRS is like, okay, dude, like, make some friggin' money here.
Yep.
Okay? So there's nothing different with this type of business, okay? So at the beginning, maybe my income was, matching that, okay? And maybe we used a lot of our expenses to decrease that income. But at this point, 3 years later, I have like 2 to 3 times matched someone's salary that took them 19 years to build. That's what you have to tell yourself every day, that is what's possible, and that's what you can accomplish with a little effort. Okay? So that's some of the objections we heard. So we covered, what did we cover? The cost, the initial startup cost.
Yeah, I want to give one small example too. I know it's getting long and stuff, but
You're
for instance, when we moved to Alabama, we didn't know anybody. We literally did not know anything. So Lisa said, "Hey, I want to throw a little party, a little neighborhood party. Just have some people over, drinks, cheese, whatever, share the product." So she put together these things in our business called these mini facials, cost about $5 per roughly to make. Passed out probably 10 of them, so that's $50. Then we bought some stuff, let's say another $50 to $75 for this party. So she invested $125. And of that, had several people come over, several people purchase product. One person ended up being a consultant. So it's yes, sometimes you do have to come out of pocket. You do have to invest. We could have decided not to spend that $125. However, she decided to. We went out of pocket, $125. She probably made $500 immediately just on that party alone. And then over time, with the reorders and even having a consultant, someone joined her.
Kim?
From that party. Kim, what's up? So, again, sometimes you do have to come out of pocket. You do have to reinvest. And my biggest regret, honestly, is not being able to reinvest more the first couple years because it would have grown that much faster. But it's just, if you can explain to your husband the potential and really show him the numbers, yes, we did have to invest $100, $200, whatever it is on this party. Let me show you what we made, and let me show you what we will continue to make for the next year just on this party. And again, most of your husbands are probably numbers guys. They need to see the numbers. They need to hear the numbers. They need to think about that. And once they do see and hear that, they'll understand it and be a lot more supportive.
And I think that that's what, at the very beginning, when we were talking about how I had no idea what I was doing, I had no idea that this was a network marketing company or that people were thinking that it was like a party plan or whatever. I think, what was I trying to say? I think that that's the reason why they have those types of things. You may spend a little money, but in order to make a little money. So I think that you need to have those discussions, find somebody who's been really successful at this and let them be your mentor and help you and guide you. That's what I did. And if I can do it or someone else can do it, then that means that you can do it. And it really is a mindset thing. And if you can get in the right mindset and your husband sees that, I think that he's going to be a lot more supportive. So, okay, so we talked about the phone, we talked about spending time, we talked about investing too much, no return, startup costs. What is like the biggest thing that we can tell people who have unsupportive husbands to help them get on board? What can they go do tonight to help with this issue?
I think open lines of communication. I think expressing to your husband that whatever it is that's important to you, whether it's losing 10 pounds or 20 pounds and spending more time at the gym, or whether it's a business that you're starting or running, I think expressing to your husband or wife, partner, whatever, expressing to that person that it is in fact and how important it is to you, and then also what you need from them. It's like a husband, we love to problem solve. It's like, give me a problem and I'm going to solve it. That's what we like to do. So if you can just tell me exactly what you need, then I can do that. Hey, this is important to me. I want to make this thing grow. This is the potential that we have, and getting them to understand that vision, and then this is what I need from you. In our case, it was like, I need time. I need to work this business. I need you to take over. So I think that was important. And also, it was huge for me, again, going to something outside of the home. I went to a business presentation, then I went to a convention. And that's when I really understood the potential. Events are huge. So if you have an unsupportive husband, drag him, even if it's kicking and screaming, make him go to an event. And I think it does open up that person's eyes to, hey, this is in fact legit, and guess what? It's a huge opportunity, and that husband is probably going to have a sense of, crap, we need to get going on this. We need to start doing this faster. You need to talk to more people about this, because this is huge, and if you don't talk to someone else is going to talk to them about it. So I think your husband will have a sense of urgency if you can get him to one of these meetings. And that sense of urgency is going to drive patience in your house. It's going to drive patience, oh my gosh, my wife's on her phone again. Oh, guess what? She's making me money. Okay, I don't think I'm going to say anything because that's important. So yeah, that's the two things.
And I think it's important, like my sister is saying right now. My sister is a full-time dentist, has 3 toddlers.
What's up, sis?
Is so busy. And her husband, I love you, brother, dear, was not the most supportive at the beginning. Now, what did she have to do to get him to be supportive? Okay, 1, she got him involved, okay? Meaning letting him have the app that we have for our business on his phone, okay? He can see what she's doing on a daily basis, okay? Another thing, being super productive during the time that you take away from your family. You cannot come into your office and surf Facebook and do things that are not income producing, okay? It has to be income producing activity, okay? So meaning that he's going to see results with the activity that you're doing. So I came in, Lane would go, take the kids, make dinner, bath the kids, put them to bed, and I was in my office. And then after evaluating the month, being like, okay, you made X amount of dollars, good job. Okay, so they have to see some results all over time as well. So I think once my sister was able to deliver results and show that that time away from him in the evening after she worked a full-time day as a dentist, came home, fed her kids, put them to bed, then got on her computer to work, was worth it. Did he love it? No. Did he want to spend time with her? Probably. She's pretty friggin' amazing.
Yeah, she's awesome.
They want to spend time with us, but there's just a short-term sacrifice that you have to make for a long-term gain. Okay? So did I bust my butt for like 18 months to 2 years to create something that will be amazing for our family? Yes. Was it difficult? Yes. Did it create?
Took a lot of time.
It took a lot of time. I mean, I sacrificed, he sacrificed, but we never lost sight of the vision. Okay? So you have to create a vision. You have to believe, increase your belief, show some results, have open lines of communication, and work on this vision together. My vision kept us up at night, thinking about what this will do for our life. I kept him up at night talking about what would be. I was so excited. I didn't stop. I believed in it. And somehow he let me do it and let me do this. So I think if you're struggling, you have to find a way to get into passion so that your husband sees how passionate you are about this and communicate what you need and deliver some results over time and get them involved, okay? I think that that's going to be the answer.
Yeah, I think getting your husband involved, asking things like, hey, what do you think I can do? What should I do? Let me get your take on this. The more involvement that they have, I think it's going to get them to buy in. Again, yeah, we started to make a rule in our house to not talk about our company past like after midnight, because if not, we were up all night just thinking about, vacations and just things that you could do with time. Like,
it's a true story. That became a rule.
Yeah, we're like, don't talk about it. I don't want to talk about it because I'm going to be up all night thinking about the what ifs. And
so you got to get them excited. You have
awesome.
to like paint that vision of we are going to do this. This is what we're going to create together, and get them excited about it and build that belief. My hubby is watching with me. Love him. We love you guys.
What's up, hubs?
We love all of our team who is watching. We love this industry. And so whether you are with us or in another network marketing company, I know that you know the power of this business model and what it can do for your family in a very short period of time. I've been able to compress a 40-year career in 3 years. You can do this in 3 to 5 years, okay? So become a student of this profession. Learn about it. Learn about your company. Get involved. Build that belief. Communicate with your spouse. Get them involved with your business. Add them to your team page. Give them the app that goes along with your company if you have something like that. Give them access to what you're doing, and they will give you their support and they will help you. And I think that that's what we've been able to do. And I hope that this helps in some way. Share this with your spouse or your significant other or partner. I'm so lucky that he has never given me grief. I'm sure he has wanted to.
Never, honey.
I mean, I'm sure there were so many times when he wanted to just shake me and, tell me like, please spend time with me. I mean, I don't know. He's never said that, so it's hard, but I know that is a real issue, and I wanted to hear what he had to say about it. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, another thing that I wanted to add is I could see also like what this business, like we talked a lot about financial stuff and stuff like that, what this type of business has done for my wife, and it just made her that much more happy. She had that much more like interactions with people. Like the people that we have on our team are like family, and just love the interaction, love seeing them, love meeting them, love talking with them. And like I think it just brought a great deal of satisfaction and happiness in our life, having this, you know, you have your blood family and then you have your company family, and it's just been extremely rewarding, and it's made you super happy. And not many of us can say like, I love my job, I love all the people that I work with, but you can definitely say that. Like you love it.
I love it. I'm so passionate about this. I think that it is a little bit like being a nurse. I think that I loved helping people. I loved connecting with people every single day. And I think that this is very similar. I think that we help people with a problem. We help people change their financial situation. We change lives. And whether you think that's corny or not, I get to see that happen. And instead of discharging them from the hospital on one day and never hearing from them again or knowing what's happened, they become part of my family. And I see what this does for them as people, as for confidence or for their financial future, and it is very rewarding. I think that if you take anything away from this, it's, you know, how to get yourself to be passionate about this and how to express that to your spouse, but then also, you know, what this can do for you. Like, this business changed who I am, because you won't get anywhere in this type of business unless you help other people accomplish their dreams. And so when you hear people say that they're changing lives and it's so rewarding, it's because that's the only way you can be successful in network marketing and our type of business, is if you make other people a priority and you serve other people and you help other people and you help them accomplish their dreams. And that is like the most rewarding thing in the world. Sure. And I think that just makes you happy, and you're able to radiate that to people that are around you. And maybe I was able to relay that to my spouse, and he saw that change in me and maybe didn't want to say, like, get the heck off your phone, you're driving me nuts. Like, so I think get into passion and have some communication.
Yeah, it's huge. Get your husband to buy in.
And if you are not part of this business, talk to someone who knows about network marketing, or a company that you're interested in, or talk to us. It's literally changed our lives. If you know us, you know that. We love it. We love you. I hope you had an amazing time getting to meet the man behind the scenes who literally runs this household and was able to be the person that helped me make this happen. Okay? I want that for you. We love you. Have an amazing night.
Bye.